Welcome back to Crime, the channel where we dive deep into true crime stories from around the world. From the well-known to the chillingly obscure, we bring you daily cases that leave you thinking long after the video ends. If you're fascinated by the darker side of human behavior and the mysteries that still haunt communities, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily dose of chilling cases. Today, we're talking about one of the most eerie and haunting unsolved cases in New York's history. It's a case that combines brutal violence with a strange, unsettling pattern. This is the disturbing story of the Alphabet Murders. Let's get into it. The Alphabet Murders happened in Rochester, New York during the early 1970s. What made this case so terrifying wasn't just the violence. It was the strange pattern behind the crimes. Each victim was a young girl. Each had a first and last name that began with the same letter. And their bodies were found in towns that also began with that same letter. Carmen Colón in Churchville, Wanda Walkowicz in Webster, Michelle Maenza in Macedon. 3 girls, 3 matching initials, 3 separate crime scenes, and one horrifying mystery. Let's start from the beginning with the first victim, Carmen Colón. Carmen was just 10 years old. She lived with her grandparents and was described as energetic and bright. On November 16, 1971, Carmen was sent to pick up a prescription from a pharmacy less than a mile away. She made it to the pharmacy, but something happened after she left. When she didn't return home, her family grew concerned. Within hours, her disappearance was reported. Then, drivers on Interstate 490 reported something strange. A young girl, partially undressed, was seen running along the shoulder of the highway. She looked scared. She appeared to be trying to get away from a car that had pulled over. Some drivers later said they saw her being dragged back into the vehicle. But nobody stopped. Nobody helped. That girl was Carmen. 2 days later, her body was found in Churchville, about 12 miles from her home. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Her clothing was scattered along the road. It was a brutal crime. But at the time, police didn't know it would be the first in a disturbing series. Wanda Walkowicz. 17 months later, in April 1973, another girl went missing. Wanda Walkowicz was 11 years old. She was shy, quiet, and extremely responsible. That evening, she had gone grocery shopping for her mother. She was last seen walking home with 2 heavy bags. She never made it back. Witnesses said they saw Wanda walking along Hudson Avenue. A few people claimed she looked like she was struggling with her bags. Some said they saw her speaking with a man in a car. But no one knew who he was. The next day, her body was discovered in Webster, another suburb of Rochester. Like Carmen, Wanda had been sexually assaulted and strangled. There were signs that she had been bound. And once again the pattern repeated. Wanda Walkowicz. Found in Webster. Matching initials. Same method. Same kind of victim. By now, the Rochester community was starting to panic. Michelle Maenza. Just 7 months after Wanda's death, another girl vanished. Michelle Maenza was 11 years old. On November 26, 1973, she left school and was planning to walk home. But Michelle never arrived. Her classmates said she was upset that day and may have been trying to hitchhike. A man driving a beige or tan car was reportedly seen speaking with her. That was the last known sighting. 2 days later, her body was found in Macedon, roughly 15 miles from Rochester. Once again, sexual assault, strangulation, and the third case of matching initials. Michelle Maenza. Found in Macedon. The third victim in just over 2 years. And the third to follow this haunting pattern. 3 cases, all unsolved, and all pointing to a single conclusion. A possible serial killer was targeting little girls based on their initials. Law enforcement knew something terrifying was happening. They brought in the FBI, created a multi-agency task force, and followed more than 3,000 leads. They questioned over 800 suspects. But the investigation ran into problems early on. There were few witnesses. No one could positively identify the car or driver in any of the abductions. The crime scenes offered little physical evidence. And forensic science in the 1970s wasn't nearly as advanced as it is today. Police believed the killer may have known the victims, or at least had access to their routines. The abductions happened in public, in broad daylight. That suggested confidence, control, and perhaps local knowledge. Some investigators believed the initials were more than a coincidence, that the killer was intentionally picking girls with matching names, that he was obsessed with order or patterns. Others argued it could have been a terrifying coincidence. Either way, the effect was the same: a city in fear, and no clear suspect. Suspects and theories. Over the years, several men were considered persons of interest. The most notable was Dennis Termini. He was a local firefighter and a known sexual predator. In fact, he was believed to be responsible for a series of rapes in Rochester. He drove a car similar to the one seen near the crime scenes. And he committed suicide in 1974, just a year after Michelle's murder. At first, it seemed like Termini could be the killer, but DNA testing years later ruled him out for at least one of the murders. So the police moved on. Another suspect was Kenneth Bianchi, better known as one of the Hillside Stranglers. Before moving to Los Angeles, Bianchi lived in Rochester. He even worked delivering ice cream, putting him in direct contact with children. Some thought his later crimes bore similarities. But once again, no concrete evidence connected him to the Alphabet murders. No DNA, no confession, no charges. Other theories emerged over the decades. Some believed the killer might have worked in law enforcement or as a delivery driver. Someone with a route. Someone who blended in. There were even theories about multiple killers. One theory suggested that the double initials were a coincidence and the murders weren't connected. But most people, including law enforcement, believe they were too similar, too calculated, too specific. The Alphabet murders case remains open, but it's been over 50 years. Time has erased memories. Witnesses have passed away, and physical evidence has degraded. In the 2000s, investigators tried using modern DNA analysis. They tested samples collected from the victims, but the results were partial. No matches were found in criminal databases. The killer, if he's still alive, would likely be elderly. If he's dead, he took the truth with him. The families of Carmen, Wanda, and Michelle have never seen justice. Their daughters were taken in brutal, terrifying ways. And to this day, no one has been held responsible. The Alphabet murders are still one of the most baffling unsolved serial murder cases in U.S. history. And they remain a chilling reminder of how even patterns, clues, and massive investigations don't always lead to answers. Thank you for watching Crime. The Alphabet murders have haunted Rochester for more than 5 decades. What do you think happened? Was it the work of one twisted mind obsessed with order? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this case disturbing and thought-provoking, give it a like and share it with someone who loves true crime. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and stay curious.